Hello everybody, this is Mr. Robin. Welcome back to another episode of the South Carolina Gamecocks Dynasty here on EA Sports College Football 25, where today the 4-0 and 1-0 South Carolina Gamecocks stay at home at Williams-Brice Stadium to play host to the 3-1 and 0-1 Kentucky Wildcats. South Carolina's clicking recently. We're starting off 4-0. We're coming off a 62-point performance here at home against Vanderbilt, and we're looking to continue that into SEC play as we get deeper against the Kentucky Wildcats, who lost their SEC opener last week, 41-31 at home against Tennessee. This is definitely the hardest team we've played thus far. This should be a lot more competitive than what we saw in the Vanderbilt game. And as we are underway here in the rain at Williams-Brice Stadium under the lights, if you're excited for this one, make sure you drop a like and you subscribe down below, especially if you want more Dynasty Mode content. As we'll see Kentucky's offense take the field first, and they're led by a Heisman Trophy candidate, Deon Sanders. No, not that Deon Sanders. A different one here at quarterback. A redshirt junior for the Wildcats, who's off to an excellent start this season. 1,147 yards, 13 touchdowns, and only one interception. But ironically enough, Kentucky will start with 2 runs on the ground behind a former 5-star recruit, Jeremy Proctor, out of Lakewood, Ohio. Here's the first pass of the day for Sanders as he wants the deep ball, but it's overthrown. Perfect coverage from Malik Asante. I love to see the deep ball defended well. 2nd and 10, now a play fake, and Sanders has no time. Colby Boyette and DeMarvin Leal in the backfield for a sack. That makes it 3rd and 19 and get this drive for Kentucky. Sanders back to the air, pocket, good pocket, dumps it short, and it will be tracked down by Sonny Gallen. And that'll be a punt away for the Wildcats. And we'll take a look at the South Carolina offense, who just put up 62 points against Vanderbilt, led by the freshman sensation, the hometown kid, Shaquille Brock. Looking to have an encore performance after last week. He begins it on the ground to Wade Mann to begin. And on the first play for the Gamecocks offense, there's going to be a holding call. They're going to get right tackle Jamie Johns. So we start off going backwards, now 1st and 19. It's a quick screen out wide for Amari Allgaier, who's having a great season. He finds some space. He picks up 14. As you can see, Brock's stats from last week, 336 yards, 5 touchdowns. Could have had a lot more yards if they would have not just ran the football for an entire half, essentially. 2nd and 5, Mann gets about 4.5. It's going to be 3rd and inches. He's coming off a 36 rush attempt performance, so you'll see him get a little bit more rest early on in this one. As there's Monty Soro picking up the first down. 1st and 10, Mann checks back in as Brock will give it to him, and he finds a little bit of space, and the 2-time rushing country leader picks up 8. 2nd and 2, they go back to him up the middle. That's a first down, and this drive will continue for South Carolina as they approach midfield. Next play, here's Monty Soro, and the senior will be bottled up quickly by James Lorenz and company. 2nd and 8 now, Brock to throw, steps up, he's going to tuck it. He's pretty good at running the football as well, as there's a nice first down, gain of 10. All across midfield now at the 44, Monty Soro gets his 2nd carry. He tries to bounce it outside, but he can't. Good defense on the edge by Khalil Steed and that cornerback crew. 2nd and 8, play fake. Brock tries to roll out. He somehow gets it to McNitt. That is a great play by Brock to not take the sack there. Picks up 5. You can see his numbers on the season, responsible for 17 touchdowns already. 3rd and 3, Brock to throw. Fires. Gallegos can't hold on. It'll be 4th down. And the offense is going to stay on the field, getting a little aggressive to begin this game. I like it. 4th and 3. They'll hand it off to Soro, who will get the first down and a lot more, and the gamble pays off. A nice pickup of 12 for Monty Soro. Now, again, moves the chains. He gets another carry here up the middle. This one's not going to help, though, or count, as there's going to be another holding on Jamie Johns. 2 holdings to begin this drive for the South Carolina right tackle. Now 1st and 20. As they try to set up a screen, it will not work. That one's incomplete. Tough try there. Makes it now 2nd and 20. Brock back to the air, wanting to go a little more vertical here. He almost takes a sack, but somehow gets it to Soro. Brock's ability to just throw on the run is impeccable. Now it's 3rd and 10, a little bit more manageable as Brock dumps this one short for Mann, and he's going to race to the first down. Outruns Lieti Liu, the captain of the defense. That's a first down. The Gamecocks move the sticks. 1st and 10, Brock scrambling around, finds Mann short, and he picks up 6. Shaquille Brock's got 51 yards throwing already. 2nd and 3 now, Brock. Going with a couple of audibles here, and the offense doesn't hear it, I guess. As 3 guys jump, that's going to be a false start. So instead of second and goal from the 3, it'll be second and 8 from the 9. But it doesn't matter because there's a quick strike for a touchdown. Carl Saban, who has been electric since stepping in for the injured Ted Martino, finds the end zone as South Carolina will take a 7-0 lead going into the end of the first quarter. A long drive for the Gamecocks as both teams pretty even across the board, with South Carolina with the lead. Kentucky is driving, though. They're at the 25 here of South Carolina. Much better second drive, as they want the mid-screen here, but it's thrown behind the receiver. Pistol formation, second and 10. Sanders goes play fake, and he's intercepted across the middle. This is the freshman Raheem Laybourne getting some more snaps as we look to improve the deep coverage, and that'll help. Picks him off across the middle, his first career INT, second of the season for Sanders, and South Carolina will hold on to a 7-point lead. They continue this drive. They're out of midfield now, second and 7, as this one's short from McNitt. But now South Carolina faces a 3rd and 4. What do they do here? Looks like they're setting up a screen for man, and he's got blockers out in front. And he will pick up the first down, a gain of 11, as Brock crosses the century mark. 3 catches, 31 yards from man today as he checks out on this play, as Soro will get another 2-yard gain. Nice tackle by the linebacker Shakir Jackson. Second and 8, blitz from Kentucky, but is countered with a quick pass to Gallegos, who gets inches shy of the marker. 3rd and inches, handoff to man right side, and he won't get there. 2 yards short, 4th and 2, and again the offense is going to stay on the field. Coach Rob getting a little aggressive today, as man will stay in the gun. Brock will hand it off to him up the middle, and he'll have the first down, and the drive continues. Gamecocks now 2 for 2 on 4th down conversions as they enter the red zone. From the 18, a blitz from Kentucky, but there's a free rusher. It's Shakir Jackson who gets the sack. His first sack of the day, and now it's 3rd and 20 after an incomplete pass. Brock the throw, looks right side, fires an absolute bullet, and it's off the hands of McNitt. That is a perfect throw in that scenario, but it's just dropped. South Carolina will take the 3 as it's now 10-0 as we've reached the 2-minute warning. This game flying by here in the rain. 2nd and 13, short pass caught by the tight end Dennis Higdon. Makes it a more manageable 3rd and 5. Pump fake, Sanders looks short, and they're going to give him that first down. Eats the hit from Perkins, but it's Brandon Beach who moves the chain. Kentucky lets the clock run down. We're inside a minute. Goal to go from the 2. They hand it off, and they're not going to get there. They'll call their first timeout. 2nd and goal now. Sanders wants to throw, and he's going to have it. Touchdown. Wildcats is a strike to Baraka Queen, and he has his first of the season. Kentucky will make this a 10-7 lead. Only 38 seconds left to go. We'll see what South Carolina does with it on offense. Do they try to gamble, or do they just play it safe and take it to the half? Saban takes the return, and we might not see the offense because Carl Saban has green grass in front of him. Can he beat the punter? He will. Touchdown, South Carolina. 100-yard kickoff return for Carl Saban. The electric former Demon Deacon is now 17-7. 26 seconds to go here in the first half, and that one should have been a pick 6, but it's dropped by Troy Haslam. Surprised Kentucky's getting aggressive here. Only 22 seconds. They do have 2 timeouts. They're going to throw forward again. Sanders just eats the sack, and now South Carolina will earn their first timeout. They want a chance for the football back. You got Kentucky pinned deep. Why not? If you get a stop here, you could have good field position. And they'll do just that. Earl Groupie with the tackle for a loss. So in 15 seconds, South Carolina will receive a punt. Carl Saban's back, who just returned a kickoff return. He tries to cut it right side, goes nowhere. 8 seconds on the clock, now your own 49. We'll see what South Carolina decides to do here, as they have 2 tight ends in this formation. Brock will throw it. Got to be careful as he steps up. He's going to find McNitt. 2 seconds to go. With 1, he'll step out of bounds. A heads-up play by Otis McNitt to step out. South Carolina will bring out the field goal unit, and they will drill it from the left side. Marquise Otogwe is good. And just like that, South Carolina takes a 20-7 lead into the halftime intermission. This one was just a 3-point game, but the Gamecocks get 10 quick ones at the end of the half. And now extend their lead 13 points. 20-7 your score as we get ready for the second half of this ballgame. Here we are back with this one as South Carolina begins after a touchback, as they'll start with the mid-screen to Amari Allgaier, who finds himself a little bit of space. Picks up 8. You can see Brock's numbers, 13 for 17, 142 yards, and a touchdown. As on 2nd and 2, they bring a man in motion. They throw it off screen to the left for Man, who gets some space. He patiently picks up 8 on the air as Brock crosses the 150 mark. Going on at 1st and 10, Kentucky with a late switch. Brock wants to take advantage, but he can't. So he gets outside the pocket, floats it for Saban, and almost hits him on the run. That one's incomplete. 2nd and 10 now. Brock to throw again. Rolls to his right. Nobody over here, so he just dumps it to the sideline. And now it's a 3rd and 10 for South Carolina. Empty backfield. Just stands Brock. He goes to throw it, fires an absolute strike to left side, and this one's going to be gone. 59 yards to Carl Saban. An absolute bullet on the money. And Saban takes it. His 3rd touchdown of the day. South Carolina will go for 2 to try to make it a 21-point game, and it won't work. So this one will stay 19 points. But South Carolina now has a 3-score lead. First drive of the second half for Kentucky as Deon Sanders will pick up 3. Not had a good day running for him. He's in the negatives in that regard. 2nd and 7 now as he makes an adjustment. He's going to keep it again, and he's not going to go anywhere this time as well. Raheem Laybourne with a nice tackle. The freshman having a really good game in his first significant snaps. 3rd and 7, Sanders with a deep ball, and he's got it. That's a big-time strike as he gets down to the 44 of South Carolina. It's Dennis Higdon, who's been the best receiver on the day for Kentucky. They go back to the ground here on 1st down. Proctor only gets 1. It has not been a good day for him. 12 for 35. He gets his 13th carry here, but he's going to be quickly brought down after a gain of 2 by Colby Boyette. Now it's 3rd and 7. Sanders dumps it short. This one caught by Booker, and he's not going to get a 1st down. And Kentucky will actually take the 3. I would go for the 1st down here, but nonetheless, I guess they want to make it a 2-score game. It's 51 yards from right hash, and the freshman Brian Burr will hit it. So it's now 26-10. Next drive for South Carolina. They've gotten to 3rd and 6. Kentucky desperately needs to get off the field here. They bring a heavy blitz. South Carolina counters with a screen to Man. And Man's got space, cuts it in, and he's going to go the distance. 71 yards. Another huge play for South Carolina. And it's a touchdown. This offense is electric. As it's now 33-10 South Carolina. Kentucky trying to answer 2nd and 6. Proctor up the middle, gains 2, and it's quickly 3rd down for this Wildcat offense. You can't afford to punt the football away here. South Carolina has all the momentum. They try to set up a screen, and they can't, and they will do just that. Punt it back to South Carolina, who are once again driving. At the 39 of Kentucky, handoff Man. He gains 2. Subs out on 2nd down. It's a handoff for Soro, who gets away from the lineman. I thought Kerry Dye would get there. Instead, it's a Soro 1st down, and now South Carolina continues to drive. 6 for 31 for Monty Soro. Man checks back in. He gets tackled quickly, and a big play by Craig Mundy. And now it's 3rd and 6. Brock rolls out to his right, stops, fires for the end zone. He's got Juan Gallegos. Touchdown, South Carolina. 4th passing touchdown of the day for Brock. And this one has become a blowout in a hurry. 40-10 now your score as you go into the 4th quarter. South Carolina up by 30. You can see the distribution. Brock has been electric today. 4 touchdowns. South Carolina up 40-10. Kentucky has brought in the backups as they begin the 4th quarter. 2nd and 6. That's a bad pass. That one's easily covered by the 4-5-star Torrey Perkins. Now 3rd and 6. Back to the air goes the backup quarterback. He's a freshman as he looks right side, and this one is knocked away incomplete. Kentucky will be forced to go for it. It's 4th and 6. You're down by 30. As this one will be thrown short of the marker, and he will not get there. A turnover on down. South Carolina turns him over. They will not do anything on that drive, so Kentucky will get the football back with less than 10 to go. As off the play fake. Interception by Colby Boyette. And that will essentially do it for this one. Boyette ends the game, and that will bring us to the end. South Carolina will kick a field goal, and they'll win this one 43-10. Another blowout in favor of South Carolina. They move to 5-0. Shaquille Brock, your player of the game, 345 yards, 4 passing touchdowns. And this team is actually pretty scary. The offense has been clicking these past 3 games like we've never seen before. Shaquille Brock has been playing absolutely almost Heisman worthy. If you take away the 5 minutes in the Appalachian State game where he threw 3 interceptions, he has been perfect this year. And we're riding a 5-0 start to our season. Defense played well and gave up 10 points. Kentucky laid an egg. Deon Sanders' Heisman hopes take a significant shot here as they start off 0-2 in SEC play. We get revenge from that Hail Mary loss last year, and we start conference play 2-0. The good news doesn't stop. Our 5-star target, Ty Pettis, has committed. The defensive tackle from Covington, Georgia, is now committed to be a South Carolina Gamecock, and I'm excited for this player. He's a gem defensive tackle who has 88 finesse move, 93 strength, 82 speed, 88 tackle. This guy seems like a complete package. Ty Pettis could be the best prospect we've ever recruited. Wide receiver Derek Beck also commits, a lightning fast wide receiver. You've seen how much the deep balls work for this team. Derek Beck is the next guy in line. 99 speed, 79 deep route, 75 release, 85 spec catch. Two awesome players to get this week. Now, it isn't all good news. Sam Hufanga, very good coverage linebacker, is committed to Georgia Tech, so that one does sting a little bit. But a great game for the Gamecocks as we take a look at some of the other top stories around the country. Maryland upsets number 2 Washington. The Terps get it done 28-25. Georgia will knock off Texas in the battle of top 5 teams. A big win for the Bulldogs. More on them in a minute. Big game this week in the Big Ten is number 13 Oregon versus number 11 Iowa. And then in the SEC, number 2 Auburn plays host to 14 Missouri. Yes, Auburn is number 2. You'll see who now number 1 is. On Monday, there was a rare game. Southern Miss beat Georgia Southern in the Sun Belt Conference. On Tuesday, Nevada beats Boston College by a point. A big win for the Wolfpack. Western Kentucky might be off to another hot start to begin their season. They beat Ole Miss in a huge Tuesday game. The Hilltoppers proving that might be for legit. And then on Thursday, Cincinnati put up 51 against their rivals, and Iowa State knocked off Colorado to begin Big 12 play. Getting into the Saturday slate, UAB beats Navy in conference play. Missouri puts up 45 against Northern Illinois. Notre Dame has now won 3 straight as they slaughtered Tulsa. And Duke beats UConn on the road. Despite their loss to App State, the Blue Devils look pretty solid. Tennessee beats the rivals in Florida, and then Boise State on the road takes care of Texas State. Syracuse, number ranked 24, gets a nice win in the ACC. They're 3-1 in conference. NC State cracks the top 10 by beating Florida State in a big road clash. And then Oregon State doubles up Air Force, who are 1-4 to begin Pac-12 play. Purdue gets a nice non-conference win against Vanderbilt, who's winless thus far. And Rutgers gets on the Big Ten board over Minnesota. UCLA knocks off Michigan State. Spartans come crashing down after upsetting Penn State 2 weeks ago. Arizona State beats West Virginia. Kennesaw State over FIU in conference play. And the Rio Grande rivalry is New Mexico, who wins 25-6. Utah gets their second Big 12 win of the season over Baylor. We saw Maryland upset Washington this week. And Kansas goes down at home to East Carolina. Yikes if you're a Jayhawk fan. Utah State welcomes UNLV to the Pac-12 with a loss. They win 21-18. Ball State beats Ohio to begin action for them. And then TCU beats Houston 27-2. The Cougars just got one safety in the game. 35-9 win for Marshall over Louisiana Monroe. Louisiana Tech wins a close one over Liberty. We see Massachusetts double up Central Michigan. They start off their MAC play with a victory. Eastern Michigan also starts off their MAC play with a victory over Toledo as the Rockets drop their MAC opener. Memphis puts up 54 against UTSA. The Tigers are a pretty scary team. And then Arkansas with a victory over Jacksonville State, although only by 3. Georgia Tech with a nice victory over their rivals in Virginia Tech. And then we see Miami over North Carolina, 27-7. Clemson doubles up Virginia, 20-10. Somehow the Tigers are only ranked number 4. Western Michigan knocks off Akron. Michigan with a close one over Fresno State in the Big House. In the game of the week, Georgia wins a classic against Texas. They moved the Bulldogs to number 1. Now, this is a big win for Georgia, but they are a one-loss team, and they've lost to undefeated Clemson. I don't like the Tigers, but they're getting kind of shafted on those rankings. Wisconsin over Indiana, nice ranked clash, and Oregon puts up 48. I think the Ducks are back. Stanford over Pittsburgh. LSU loses a big one at home to Rice. That is a bad loss for the Tigers. Texas A&M puts up 52 on San Diego State. USC over Illinois in the Big Ten. And then Iowa knocks off Penn State. 2 straight losses for the Nittany Lions. Here are your players of the week. Despite the loss, Jazario Huma had 4 sacks for Illinois. And then Ramon Duggan had 4 touchdowns for Texas A&M in their 52-point showing. And then SEC defensive is Fanas Sativa of Ole Miss. Here is your new rankings. Like I said, Georgia jumps up to number 1. I don't agree with that one. Clemson, in my opinion, should be the number 1 team. North Texas up to number 3. How about the Mean Green? Their highest ranking ever. Washington takes the biggest tumble this week. And even though we're 5-0, we're still not ranked. I'd like to see us enter the rankings at some point, especially if we are playing as good as we are. Here are the big games this week. Auburn hosts Missouri, so a chance for the Tigers, that is Auburn Tigers, to get back to number 1 with a victory. Ohio State and Wisconsin, and then Ole Miss, Oklahoma, Oregon, Iowa. Big week for the SEC and the Big Ten, arguably the 2 best conferences in college football. It's not a big week for us, is because we have a bye week. We start off 5-0, we get a week to rest. So next week we'll take a look at some early stats, as well as how the recruiting is going, and what has been a great start to the season for the South Carolina Gamecocks. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys have enjoyed, if you have, make sure you drop that like, you subscribe down below, especially if you want more Dynasty Mode content. This is Mr. Rob, and I'll see you in the next one.